something you said and you kind of allude to without even getting to is this whole thing of your father did better than his father did.
That's right.
For you, even in the struggle.
That's right.
And whether he said it to you or not, his expectation for you to be better and do better. I mean, we kind of want that. I think it's ironic that all these athletes out here are always talking about how they were better than the generation before them. But as parents, they always want their kids to be better, to do better in all those areas. The contradiction is something. But I think you said it. We all have been saying the thing I look at in terms of finding father figures and taking, especially for black boys who are, I mean, the world is biased anyway in how we look at each other across the spectrum. But how folks look at black boys started from a place of you're just a chattel. That's what you are. You do things for me, and I don't pay you, feed you so that you can stay healthy enough to do more things for me. And then having that how does that evolve into a place where you're looked at as valuable, respected, trustworthy, productive, professional, and that's, I think, the things we're always trying to figure out how to work on. And when you come from a generation where they separated us, they took you from your children, you didn't get the chance to figure out how to have a bond, to let alone then try to figure out how to take care of a home without these tools that other folks had growing up. To then trying to pass that on to the next generation to do it even just a little bit better, and hope that keeps going. And I think that's the biggest thing to me was I don't have a father figure that I look at and go, this is the thing I cherish or whatever. And it was so common that I never missed it. I just didn't even, I'm missing a dad, and it was never there for me. So that wasn't the reason that spurred me on. But how I grew up and how I was treated and how I was viewed, trusted or not trusted, depending on what my abilities were, those were things that I was really trying to make sure I passed on to my kids. You're going to be looked at a certain way. You're going to be judged before you walk in the room. You need to show up a certain way. I know you kind of alluded to some of this, Grantley, is how you walk into a place, how you sit up front, how you raise your hand, how you engage in conversations is going to matter for you, let alone how you show up when the police car pulls you over.
Yeah.
And make sure that music and that sound goes down quickly and get your hands where you can see them.
Yeah.
But that's all the stuff that you hope and pray that it gets easier and easier as the generations go. And I think it is in a lot of ways. But there's so much more to this that we were behind on. But I love the spectrum of where we are on that and how you can see the hope of what we can all get to.
Absolutely.
As a community of black folks, of black men. There's a place to go. And I think that's the thing I try to pass to even, beyond my boys. I have my boys who are now becoming mentors to other kids. And to show them what's possible if you do these things, that's becoming the real thing. Is this? I have this group that I get to hang out with, beyond even you all, that I'm so proud of, that I get to show other kids who look like us and say, this is what you can be. And it's beyond that whole thing where King County talks about the opportunity to thrive, which is more than survive.
Right.
Thrive.
Yeah.
Thrive is not, it's more than just I ate
Just
today,
just barely
and as
getting
I
along.
ate.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit more than just barely getting along.
You're supposed to enjoy life.
Yeah.
So how we get our kids to that place, so it's commonplace and it's not an anomaly,
Right.
I think is the biggest thing that I caught on to was, hey, that he's saying something I need to hear, or he's doing something I need to do for myself and for my family and for their families.
Right, to come. Andrea, anything to add?
Again, just dealing with the spectrum of kind of, the dynamic of the four of us and our childhood. So I think one thing I picked up on what Terry was saying is, this 10 and 2 o'clock is what Deshaun said, and what does it mean to be black and to be pulled over? when I moved to Federal Way, the African American population was 7%. The chief of police is a Korean believer, Andy Wong, and he's just a very real guy. He's just a very, very straightforward type of person, and so he would provide the statistics on traffic stops. And the traffic stops of African Americans in Federal Way at that time was 31%, but they made up 7% of the population.
Yeah.
And I was saying, what? How do we explain this?
That's
You know, and so then he came up with this Chief of Police Advisory Council that had people of color on it as a way to address the facts. This is not fiction. This is not people of color just throwing out information that has not been substantiated. This is coming from the police themselves. So I just remember growing up, my father explaining to me what it meant for him to have to come up to the school because of my behavior.
yeah.
And that he was not opposed to coming to the school, but his favorite phrase, don't have me coming up there being loud and wrong. If you call me, you better have your ducks in a row. I better know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but. Don't let nobody tell me, surprise me with something you didn't tell me before I left work and came to your school.